get to chatting with a guest and time just flies and we end up with more good content than we can actually fit into one show. That's why we created Kelly Extras, a chance for us to show you more conversations with some of your favorite guests. That happened when Julia Stiles was here back in February. She just finished her directorial debut, the film Wish You Were Here, which is available on demand and on digital. But one thing I loved in the movie was how she used music in the story. So here she is explaining more. I love the music for this. It's so well done. Yes.
Thank you. I'm so proud of it. I'm so happy.
It's another character.
It's another character.
And people don't realize
film,
that a lot of times when they're doing films. And I'm like, no, it's like a whole other character. It can elevate it. It can
make or break the emotion.
Yeah.
It can do so much, and it can also be so bad. But
yeah.
I had the songs that already existed that are in the film that are like Leisure Cruise, Nathaniel Rateliff is heavily featured. Those were all songs that I had on a playlist, and we were able to get the rights to it. But my dear friend Vanessa Carlton,
very talented.
She and her husband John Macaulay of the band Deer Tick composed the original score. And it was such a blessing because I feel like their music is so fantastic. I don't know if you remember
so
1,000 Miles.
Yeah, everybody. Yes. No, it's so good. I love Leisure Cruise. That is one of my favorite. That's probably my favorite scene of the movie because I love that it's very intimate, almost more intimate than like a sex scene, but it's done in such a beautiful way and like almost the lead up and everything and all that tension, it's very beautiful. And the song sets such a nice like landscape for everything that's happening. Was that on purpose, that it wasn't this like huge sex scene, it was more of like an intimate moment with the dance?
Yeah, I've had that song in my head for 5 years, even
it's
adapting
so
the script.
good.
And when it came time for, I was like, okay, I'm telling a story about romance and falling in love. So obviously we're gonna expect, like, I didn't want to have a sex scene because I hate watching them, I hate filming them, I hate making the actors go through that.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, let me think about how to show intimacy. What is intimacy? And for me, I thought, in the book, there was this beautiful thing that I pulled on where on their first date he says, tell me about how we first met, and she's like, what? And then she realizes, oh, now we're playing a game, and she starts telling him the story of their imagined love affair. And I decided to stage it as a dance because you could see them starting to get physically closer, and then the conversation is getting hotter, and we filmed it with a Steadicam, and I was expecting to have more coverage, more shots to be able to cut around in the editing room. But then our actors like knew their lines perfectly and they were so in sync with each other that I didn't yell cut and we just let it keep going, almost like a stage play, but it was so electric because you see the two of them really interacting.
Yeah.
And I just was like, oh, this is electric.
Yeah.
And that's what is in the film.
And it was so beautifully intimate. That's what I loved about it. It's a different kind that we don't normally get to see. I thought it was brilliant. Yeah, a brilliant idea. You also posted advice from your mom. I love this. We're gonna put these up. Her first piece of advice was speak up. Is this because you were more quiet or introverted? Like, is it
No, it was
physical,
like,
or?
Speak up, like, don't use that baby voice. Like, you know how sometimes, especially I think as you become a teenager, you kind of do, I don't want
delicate wallflower.
It's like that, oh, I really want to have, it's sort of squeaky or higher pitch. And she was like, just
you're making yourself small.
Voice. Like, assert yourself. You don't have to.
Yeah, I love that advice. All right, she also said, which I highly love, be financially independent.
Yes, that was, I don't know if we ever explicitly talked about it, but it was just sort of maybe by example or by, somehow she instilled it in me that you pay your own bills. And that allows you to never be in a relationship for any other reason because you want to be.
For the right reason.
Yeah, for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Don't be stuck somewhere that you don't want to be.
That was, I think a lot of kids our generation too, like even watching like my mother, like, all of a sudden her life changed, everything was taken away, I had to put herself through school and college while raising kids and like doing all this stuff. And it was because she was financially dependent, at first. And then she had to create that. And it was like watching that, I think really taught me like, ooh, I don't want to have to do that with anyone. You know?
It's a certain amount of freedom that you get. When
which I think we're lucky because that's a generational thing. I think it's gotten better, obviously, but women for the past centuries have been like kind of stuck a lot of times. So,
I mean, I think it was even recently, it was, I don't know, maybe the 70s or something. Like women used to have to get their father's permission to sign off on a credit card.
Or to get like a bank account.
Exactly. So
which is
we take that for
insane.
granted, but it's just a reminder to, have that kind of freedom.
Yeah. And finally, find the good in people, which I think can be a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
It's good advice, but sometimes
You can be too forgiving,
Yes.
right? Sometimes, yes, of course, there are lines that people cross and you can't let them cross them.
Yeah.
I think what she meant, I mean, I think that's an example of she having empathy. You never know where people are coming from.
Absolutely.
And to try and find, also just sort of seek the good. Like another thing that's not in that post that she always said to me is seek happiness. Like you gotta find the good in the world too.
Yeah.
And this movie is a perfect example of that because I felt like in the 5 years since we've been trying to make it, it's only gotten deeper and feels more necessary because I just wanted to put something positive out into the world. And like, I hope that people, when they watch it, can turn the cynical part of their brain off and just open their hearts.
Yeah. And that's kind of the thing too, is it's like, I'm not gonna spoiler alert, but when you do watch it, you're just like, nothing is promised. Time isn't promised. Things aren't promised. So it's like really take advantage of that moment and seek happiness. It's a beautiful way to say, great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, really well done.